Hello and welcome. Today I am going to show you how an example of exponential growth and why it's so important to focus on your three core sales figures. So in this instance we've got a fictitious company. Imagine that their marketing generates 200 prospects every month and their closing ratio is 20%. So the number of customers they get is 40 and the average customer value is £1,000. So that means that they get a gross sales of 40 grand. Now imagine we're going to apply a 20% growth to the number of prospects. So now they've got 240 prospects, the closing ratios remain the same. That then gives them 48 new customers. Average customer value is £1,000. So that's 48 grand in gross sales. Alright. Now imagine that we improve our closing ratio, but the number of prospects go back to 200. So the number of customers, just by achieving a 20% increase in the closing ratio, goes to 48, and that again leads to £48,000 worth of gross sales. In the third example, we're going to leave the closing ratio and the number of prospects at the same level, and we're just going to look at what happens when you increase the average customer value by 200 quid. And of course that goes up as well. That means the gross sales goes up to 48 grand. Now what's really interesting is when you achieve when you achieve growth across each three of these core numbers, so the number of prospects, the conversion rate between prospects to customers, and the average customer value, this is what we see happen. Number of prospects goes up to 240, closing ratio is 24%. That means the number of customers we're getting is 57.6. With an increase of 20% in the average customer value, that means our gross sales now has gone up to 69,120. So this is just a good example of why or how, by focusing on growing incrementally across these three core sales figures, can have a significant impact upon your sales figures across the business. Because actual growth achieved was in fact, or is in fact, just over 72%, which is a phenomenal improvement. So this is why it's so important to focus on these key three core sales figures. And just goes to show that small improvements in each area will give you dramatic growth overall. Many businesses don't approach growth in their business along these lines. If you do, you're going to be literally light years ahead of your competition.